Chase Gunnoe here reporting live from Pembroke, North Carolina. The CSX main line, a diamond actually, is right here behind me. North to south, we have CSX's A line between Fayetteville, North Carolina and Florence, South Carolina. That main line route opened for business today. We've been here about 15 minutes getting the cameras and everything taken care of. We have not seen the train yet, but we're located near the milepost 241.3 on CSX's former Atlantic Coastline A line. Then this east-west line that you see here directly behind me is the Wilmington to Hamlet route for CSX's Wilmington subdivision, which it remains closed in the wake of Hurricane Matthew. So we're set up here in Pembroke right now. We've been moving across the southeastern part of the state today. Actually, we started in Rocky Mount, moved south from Rocky Mount to Fayetteville, continued loosely following CSX's main line to here. And after navigating several closed roads, we're here now and hoping to bring you a few CSX trains this afternoon. Again, the A line is open between Florence and Fayetteville, North Carolina. From our understanding, there's not a lot of traffic out there, but a little bit's moving left and right. In addition to that, CSX's line here going to Wilmington remains closed, but crews are actively working and repairing those tracks. And we're going to bring you the latest. Stick around here for a couple hours and see if CSX decides to run any trains. Again, this is Pembroke, North Carolina. So we're here, right here in Pembroke, downtown Pembroke here. As you can see, there's a diamond directly to the right, crosses the CSX A line. We've got the north-south track goes from Hamlet, or goes from Fayetteville, North Carolina to Florence, South Carolina. It's part of the railroad's A line. And then the west to east track, the left to right track that we see in the foreground, it's the Wilmington subdivision. There's a connector track for the two routes right here in Pembroke. So, you know, when trains are running, there's quite a scene here. There's a lot to see. It's a nice open area. As far as damages here in Pembroke, we've noticed that electricity is a problem. We hear several generators powering residential areas and other commercial properties. So electricity is an issue here. There is a signal box right here to my right. We're going to pan across and look at that. No generator here, so it's my understanding that power's up and running as far as the railroad's concerned here. Signals are lit. They're not showing any trains on the way, but they are functioning without any generators. So it's a really nice area here in Pembroke, real open. It's a beautiful day, high 70s. Rail service is just ramping up here on the A line. A few trains moving around, but we have yet to really see any. We understand that traffic is starting to get back to normal, and I'm sure will gradually increase as crews inspect and repair additional sections of track. We've spent most of our day trying to get to Pembroke. In fact, we followed a pretty hefty percentage of the A line south from Rocky Mount. Started in Rocky Mount about 9:30 this morning at the Amtrak station. Moved to south towards Selma into Fayetteville, and then continued on to Lumberton, where we saw our first train, not moving, but a pair of light engines that were sitting there on the Wilmington sub, the same track that you see here in the foreground. if there's anything that's going to be moving across CSX's main line, it's going to be right through here. The A line is the first main line route that the railroad has restored, and while passenger service is still operating on modified schedules, freight traffic should be moving. So whatever's moving through North Carolina that's trying to either get to Richmond, Virginia, or into Georgia and Jacksonville, Florida, it has to come right through here. We spent much of our day yesterday downtown Fayetteville, North Carolina, where we followed the recovery efforts on CSX's Atlantic and Yadkin subdivision, a washout there on the Fort Bragg spur that was kind of affecting freight service. That was adjacent to the Amtrak station in Fayetteville, and we spent several hours in downtown Fayetteville yesterday, and we didn't see but one train, and it was about 5 minutes after we quit doing the streaming. A northbound train came through at restricted speed through Fayetteville. Traffic, it's pretty slow right now, and it'll be interesting to see how many trains we see here this evening. I understand that while the main line is open, there are still several sections of restricted speed and other less than track speed sections that will keep trains from moving at their normal track speeds. This is a pretty quick route in terms of getting across the railroad, so it's a busy artery for CSX, a lot of freight, intermodal, a lot of passenger trains, so more than 12 trains a day, between 15 and 18 freight trains a day come through here, and things have been pretty much at a gridlock since last Thursday. CSX shut down the A-line in advance of Hurricane Matthew, well before it made landfall on the Florida coast, and the line has been shut down since then. That's been one full week since CSX shut things down, so with more than close to 24 trains a day, you can imagine the amount of traffic that's backed up for those through trains. In addition, local service. There's a lot of local industry all throughout South and North Carolina, and not only is rail service affected, but those warehousing businesses, the manufacturing, other chemical producing facilities, they're shut down or flooded still at this point. So it's not just a matter of local service and rails being restored, but it's also a matter of the companies in which the railroads serve getting back on their feet themselves. We just came through Lumberton a little bit ago, and that was some of the worst flooding that we had seen this entire trip. Still several homes, residential neighborhoods underwater. The Lumber River through there still at record flood stage. It's pretty phenomenal, the amount of damages here, and it's going to be a long process in getting things back to normal. Where we are here in Pembroke, about 10 to 12 miles west of Lumberton, things aren't as bad. Of course, we see some downed trees, some high water, but we don't see such widespread damage that we did in Lumberton. That area, which is about 10 miles east of us, just really hit hard, devastated. So things at Pembroke are okay again. Electricity seems to be an issue, a lot of ground power problems. Generators are providing that supplemental power. The railroad seems to be okay. No generators here along their side of the right-of-way. Signals and other equipment seem to be doing okay. So we'll see how quick it takes for the railroad to run some trains here through Pembroke, North Carolina. Further south and east of here, it's going to be quite a while for both Class 1 and short line railroads to get things back to normal. Yesterday we spoke with Bill Henderson, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing, R.J. Corman, who told us that it could be up to a month before the R.J. Corman's Carolina Lines reopens for business. That line is better known as the Carolina Southern. R.J. Corman purchased it and made some significant investments in the right-of-way, repaired bridges, beefed up the infrastructure, and brought that line back into service March of this year. So that's a tough break for them. They're looking at 4 weeks to get things back to normal, and before they can serve their customers between Chadbourne, North Carolina, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Conway, South Carolina. That entire area was right in the path of Hurricane Matthew. The Corman lines down there, it's known for a lot of bridges, and that was one of the issues that essentially shut down the Carolina Southern to begin with. But Corman came in there last year, started rebuilding dozens of bridges, bringing things into good condition for this new freight service, and that is just unfortunate that now they're going to be looking at significant upgrades or significant repairs just to bring things back to how they were. So CSX likewise, their branch lines, particularly the ones in South Carolina, have a lot of work left to do. They're going to gradually start coming back online. The Orangeburg, Eastover, Creston subdivisions will be coming back online in the days to come, as well as the Andrews subdivision, Wilmington subdivision, closer to a week before they'll be back in service. And the other lines in CSX's Florence division, Southeast North Carolina, and part of South Carolina, they will gradually be coming back online as crews have the opportunity to evaluate infrastructure and make those as-needed repairs. Of course, the railroads are prioritizing higher volume routes, such as the A line, the Portsmouth subdivision, which is in Virginia. That line has also reopened. So they're dedicating their time and resources to the bigger corridors right now, and then they're coming back and they're evaluating and repairing these secondary routes, such as the Wilmington subdivision and the assortment of branch lines east of Hamlet and Fayetteville. Passenger service still operating on a modified schedule. We're trying to confirm Amtrak's intentions for tomorrow and whether or not the Silver Star trains or the auto train may resume. They have also been shut down and suspended for about a week now. Amtrak decided they would cut back on the service before Hurricane Matthew made landfall, and those trains have yet to be restored. We're going to be sticking around Pembroke till about 5 p.m. Eastern this evening. Hopefully we'll see another train or two here or something. A little activity would be nice. And then we're going to be relocating in the morning somewhere along the A line, try to bring you new footage in hopes of catching some trains. As things get moving here and crews are able to safely report to work and trains are actually moving, we can imagine that it will be really busy. Just the sheer volume of traffic that this line typically sees, and the fact that it's been backlogged for more than a week, we can only imagine that once things are finally on the move, that it'll be a steady stream of rail traffic, I'm sure, beginning tomorrow and certainly lasting into the weekend and early next week. So in the morning, we're going to try to find a location, whether it's near here in Pembroke or somewhere else along the A-line. We're going to set up in the morning and hope to be bringing you guys some trains. So keep in touch. Thanks for watching.